And I'm like, no, his man's wife just ruined the transaction for me to get a Rolex that I've always wanted. Are you kidding me? So, needless to say, I left not in the best mood, in the worst mood that I came in with. But I'm driving down the street and I make it about 2 miles past, and then I call him, or I text him. I'm like, look, 26 right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'll spin back around and I'll give you an extra $300. Forget what your wife said, man. He says that he's going to talk to his wife that day of, and I'm sitting there biting my fingernails like I wanted this watch hours ago. So I say, alright, you know, I tell myself I'm not going to go too crazy over this watch. You know what I mean? I wasn't planning to even spend 18, 2 grand, and now here I am offering 2.5, 2.6, all this. So a day goes by, that whole day goes by, and the whole day I had the day off. I was just doing research. You know, I was so upset that I almost had a Rolex in my reach, and then just wasn't there. The offer wasn't there anymore. It was iffy. So I'm looking online, and the prices for similar Rolexes. By the way, this is a 16220, stainless steel, engine turn bezel, all that. So you know, I'm looking online. I'm seeing the prices for the Rolex that are the same category, same range. You know, and it's all from like 3.5 to like 4.5. Some even 5. But that's kind of anyway. So I'm getting more and more upset the more I'm looking at these prices, and I'm like, damn it. So I'm crunching numbers in my accounts, doing all my work, like just trying to see how I can squeeze in what I could really afford to pay this guy. Because I didn't want to bend. His wife was the person. He was perfectly fine. He probably would have taken 1,800, 2,000, whatever. But his wife was the smart one in the equation or something. She knew that that watch was worth something. So I'm online, I'm looking, and I sleep on the idea. I'm like, alright. I wake up, and I'm looking at the watches online, and I'm like, you know what, man? I just text him 3 grand. Text him 3 grand. So we went from 18 to like 23 to 25 or 26, and now it's at 3 grand, alright? He tells me that he thinks that I cracked the code, alright? The code meaning his wife. He said that he told her, you know, the offer of 3 grand and that she smiled, right? So I waited about a good hour, and he wasn't texting me back, so I texted him again. I said 32. You know what I mean? 3,200. He said, alright. He said, I think you did. She said yes. I was like, perfect. I ran so fast to the bank. I have all this on camera too. I ran to the bank, got my girl something to eat really fast. We're getting smoothies for Kayla now. And then we ran over to his job before he could back out. And, you know, I had the cash in hand.
It says it's 32, right?
And I meet up with the guy. I even had a counterfeit marker. There it is. Just for the guys, you know, for courtesy. I was like, you know what I mean? I'll mark all the bills in front of you. You can count it out. I'm like that. I don't want people to feel weary, especially if it's a good deal between the two of us. I want them to make sure that they know I'm not flunky. None of this. So yeah, in the video, I have it on recording. It's mainly me just going inside the guy's car, SUV. You know, we're talking, going over it, and then he hands me the watch.
Here he is.
This watch didn't come with box and papers, but he gave me like a green box that I guess the jewelers that he bought it from, this secondhand jewelers, they gave him like this green box. It looks like a Rolex box, but I told him right off the bat, I was like, this isn't a Rolex box. So I'm looking at the watch and everything, and I was just like, it's 36 millimeters, so I was like, I just want to make sure it's not like a lady's watch, you know what I mean, a only ladies watch. It's like a unisex watch, you know what I mean. So he had small wrists and he had extra links, so immediately I went over to like the first jewelry place that had Rolex in front of it. I went inside and you know, was talking to this guy. They were really nice. Kind of just looking at the Rolex like, oh wow. And I told him, I asked him if he could authenticate it just by you know, taking off the links and looking at the serial number and all that. Because at the time I didn't even know that this was a 16220. I just knew it was a date just, and I thought it had a white gold bezel, but it's actually stainless steel. So this is a very unique watch, and I like it because, I'll get to that in a second, but the guy, he basically was taking a look at the watch, the jeweler, he was looking at the watch, he turns it upside down, he's kind of looking at it, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to take it to the back. I take a picture of the watch really quick, and I'm like, alright, go ahead and take it to the back. He takes it to the back, he takes off the bracelet, takes a picture of the serial number, everything, and he confirms that it is a authentic Rolex watch. He put the extra link in it. He taught me how to, or he didn't really teach me, but I saw him move the bracelet on this clasp right here. So if you need to adjust it just a little bit, you don't need to take apart the entire bracelet and all that. But yeah, like, I just wanted to make this video because, like, it's one of those things where it's a purchase where it's like, how I justify purchases is like, okay, it's a lot of money, but it keeps the value. It's worth more. I could turn around and go to a pawn shop probably and sell this for what I got it for, you know what I mean? Let alone online. You can look up what these are going for right now. You know, I think of that. I think of, you know, how the usability, how many times am I going to use it? If I use it every day, it's like my MacBook. Like, I was iffy about buying it, but then it's like, you know what I mean, I'm going to use it enough to justify, you know what I mean, the price. But yeah, what I really like about this watch is, like, they always say watches, how do you call it? Watches, like, reflect who you are and stuff like this. And I like this because it's like a stainless steel, you know what I mean? It's not too flashy, it's not too crazy. It even has the engine turn bezel, so it's not as flashy. And it's just classic and smooth, and I like to think of myself the same way, you know what I mean? Not too flashy, not too crazy.